right, now here's a brain melter for you. We're here about to play a demo of a game that is not yet complete, but when it's completed, it will still not be complete. I'm talking about the Magic Circle with Question LLC, and I'm here with Jordan, here to talk to us about the game. Now, it may not make any sense to anybody who just heard what I just said, so what exactly is the premise of the Magic Circle?
Sure, so the Magic Circle is the story of a legendary piece of vaporware. So all those games that promised way too much and they're actually terrified of their fans because they couldn't meet the expectations. The idea is you play the hero of said unfinished world, right? And you get sick of waiting for the developers to finish your story. And so you wander off to go fix the game from the inside or cancel it. And you do so by sort of stealing the tools of game design from the developers as they fly around making terrible decisions in real time.
So the game has a lot of oddities to it because it's mostly black and white at the start, and you're seeing all these different graphical interludes, like different things popping in and out. What inspired you to create a game that was, in fact, only partially created?
Well, I've been making games since '98, and so I've looked at a lot of unfinished worlds. As far as why it's black and white, we wanted to have a kind of very hand-drawn, whiteboard sort of feel, that you see a lot of these worlds in their skeletal state, and there's a beauty there. So the player slowly colorizes it, slowly breathes life into what begins as a kind of dead world. And as you kind of colonize it with your ideas, the color spreads and spreads.
And like any game that's fairly work in progress, there's plenty of glitches in it. And so how does the player manipulate the glitches to their advantage?
So it starts out, the game designers have half an idea for everything. So you find a lot of punchlines with no setup. Where like, okay, there's a creature here, but the player has no weapons to fight him. So you walk in, you get immediately ganked. But you gain a tool called the Magic Circle that lets you put creatures into a glitch-like state. So you surround it, like for example at PAX we've been saying, man, it would be nice if you could just scoot to and fro on a chair, because walking gets tiring at PAX. So you would trap a chair with the circle, reach inside it, and it would say, I am a chair, and I move with nothing, because it's, an inanimate object. But if you trap me, it'd say, I am Jordan, and I move with ground. You pull the ground movement out of me like a Lego, stick it in the chair, and all of a sudden you have your own minion that will take you to and fro, like a chauffeur.
So you make like little things become alive just by you pulling it into the circle.
Yeah, and you asked about, how does it manifest on the glitchiness? Well, there's no one right answer to any puzzle in the Magic Circle. The designers don't really have your back, the fictional designers. So you come across a state and you're like, how do I get way up there? You have no flight, you have no staircase, but if you use the tools that you find sort of littered around the world, mixing and matching creatures, eventually you can make your way up there or make it come to you.
And you mentioned there's multiple developers working against each other as well as toward each other. How does that pull together into the story of the game as it comes out?
Well, we have a very strong beginning, middle, and an end, a traditionally told story that is that of the developers. Your story, though, is dynamic and kind of in conflict with that. And so the developers are arguing amongst themselves like angry gods about what the game really means. You've got the writer guy who literally cuts the sword out of your hand because he's too afraid you're going to kill a major character. And then you've got these like hardcore design guys who are arguing against him saying, no, the player's not going to sit around for this cutscene, can they skip that, et cetera, et cetera. And so they've gotten themselves into a kind of deadlock. Over the course of the game, they become aware of you. And I won't spoil what happens, but suffice to say, you sort of steal game design from them.
You've become the user.
Yeah, exactly.
Now this game is coming out for PC, right? Is it coming out for anything else, or any plans after its full release, or you think it's got a good place here on the PC?
Well, we're starting with PC or Mac, possibly Linux, and then if there's a reasonable audience, we'll probably expand out to PS4 or maybe Xbox One.
And you said it was pretty close to being complete. So
now I'm going to bring you in on our little problem.
Uh-oh.
If we announce a release date and then fail to meet it, we become our own joke and probably disappear in a puff of logic. So we're not actually announcing a date. I can tell you that it's going to be relatively early this year, and that when we announce it, we're probably going to say sorry for the delay.
That's probably for the best. You don't want to be a victim of your own creation here.
Exactly.
All right, well, thanks you very much. And
my pleasure.
Thank you very much. And when it comes out, remember, the world is yours to create and finish.